Today we will cover two Czech novels from 1925. First, Karel Elgart was a Czech writer writing as K.E. Sokol. He was born in 1874 and became a teacher in 1892. In 1900 he married Julie Petrova. In 1910 he became the manager and then director of a women's industrial school, and was responsible for the spreading of girls' and women's education. He wrote poems and social novels and died in 1929 in Potsdam. We will review his 1925 The Black and White. The novel begins with a confrontation of the evil Dark God and his forces against the good White God. The Dark One corners the White One atop a mountain and swears to destroy him and the few in whom he still lives. The White calmly says that as long as one exists, they both will. So the Dark One reaches out his flail to strike a nearby city in frustration. And this is where the fantastic content stops for about 330 pages. Instead we deal with Dvořák, a newspaper man in the unnamed city, trying to stop a workers' revolt against the rich factory owner Bareš, due to the organizers refusing all settlement and wanting to drag the city into ruin, to build a communist dictatorship on top. They are being led in secret by Prus, an engineer in Bareš's own factory, who plays his employer's force and organizes these strikes and revolts purely to destroy everything due to his nihilism. At one point he kidnaps Dvořák and his son and would murder them in the old mill, but Dvořák escapes. Dvořák then tries to stop the strike, but he and his supporters are chased into a burning building, while the mob systematically blocks all rescue efforts from the fire department. Then when they do escape, most of the town is washed away by a flood when Prus blows up the dam on purpose to kill everyone, though even his own dark god mocks his efforts. In the end, Dvořák and co are saved and there will be no communist revolution, until about 20 years later in real life. This is just a social novel, with the enticing supernatural element stopping 4 or 5 pages in, with the only horror being at the very end when the mob breaks loose. Dominik Filip was also a Czech writer and teacher. He was born in 1879 in Jičín. He initially taught in Kolín, where he met and married his wife Klára Kucejová. After World War I he went to Liptovský Svätý Mikuláš to manage a local gymnasium, but his progressivity angered the local bishop, so he had to leave by 1920. The entire family leaving the Catholic Church in protest. In 1930 he lost his voice and was transferred to the education ministry. When Nazi collaborator Emanuel Moravec became head of the ministry, Philip went into early retirement. He died in Prague in 1946. We will cover his Bel's last sacrifice. The story concerns Ivan, a Russian who en route to joining a Syrian monastery was attacked by robbers, and saved by the kind and pretty maiden Zaida and her father Ibrahim. But then Zaida is kidnapped by her cousin Omar to be used as a human sacrifice to the Babylonian god Marduk to fulfill an ancient prophecy. Ibrahim is descended from the last Shangu or high priest of the E-Sagila, the temple of Marduk, and Babylon fell because he would not sacrifice his son to the god. But if one of his heirs should give his child to the god on a day that only happens once every 100 years, Babylon shall rise again. Ivan and Ibrahim pursue Omar to the ruins of the E-Sagila, having many narrow escapes along the way. But on the night itself, Ibrahim becomes not himself but his ancient ancestor and is willing to have his daughter burned to death inside the statue of Marduk. But then the plot grinds to a halt as the stone statues in the temple of the E-Sagila spend a third of the book retelling old Babylonian legends verbatim, without caring to incorporate them into the story and just rattling off a lecture, which the author admits was his intention all along at the end of the book, admitting he tricked his audience with an adventure story just to make them learn and then never properly concluding the adventure story. So Zaida is fine, Omar dies off screen, and we get a long list of recommended reading material. I'm usually on board with this kind of stuff, and even I was bored.